Hi, and welcome to Bucco Banter on Herald-Standard.com. I'm your host, Rob Burchianti. With me, as usual, the Herald-Standard.com sports writer, Jonathan Guth. And right now, we're getting close to the All-Star break, and the All-Star team has been announced, and the Pirates are coming off a big 7-game homestand, or a road trip, a big road trip. Johnny, how'd they do?
The Pirates were 4-3 on that road trip, Rob. They lost the first 2 in Philly, but rebounded to take the next 2 for a split, and then took 2 out of 3 from the defending World Series champ St. Louis in St. Louis. Very impressive stuff, and that leaves them at 42-36 as of Sunday. A game behind the Reds for first place. So not too bad, but
nope.
I guess we got a little bit more to talk about, Rob. After the All-Star picks came in, 2 Buccos on the roster. What's your assessment of that?
Well, I think this shows you what kind of year the Pirates are having, because we're talking about 2 guys got on a team, and we're talking about 2 more, possibly 3 that could have been on a team. And in the past, that's just ridiculous talk there, because you were wondering, well, which guy are they going to scrape off to put on the team because they had to have one. And last year was a bit of a turnaround because I think Hanrahan was named. And then I think McCutchen got put on later, and after an injury. But this year we did have Andrew McCutchen, which is no surprise, got named. Joel Hanrahan, one of the top relievers. I think he's second in the league in saves, second or third. So he got named. But there was 2 guys that probably could have got named that didn't. You want to expand on that?
I would say if you want to really, James McDonald, 7-3, comes in with a 2.40. His ERA is 2.44, 2.44. I know the wins maybe not as near some of the other guys on the team. There's guys up there with 10, 11 wins. However, that ERA, I don't know how you can't not put him on that team, and they don't really give him much run support. And Mr. Burnett, who came from New York, I think this New York thing is kind of hindering AJ's chance of getting some respect. I saw on ESPN, Sports Illustrated poll that said he was one of the most overrated pitchers. But anyway, enough with that. I digress. He's 9-2.
It's true though. They have his polls most overrated, most underrated. And I think it was. I don't think most when they took that poll. I can guarantee you they didn't. It wasn't lately when AJ Burnett's been. And
I've had some arguments. His ERA is 3.31. However, I was looking back doing a little research. On May 2nd, he gave up 12 runs, and that was an awful game for him. However, I think he's won 8 in a row, and just.
8 straight starts he's won.
Who's hotter than AJ Burnett in the whole league? I would love to see who they think is better right now. Just if you're going off, the last month or so, I don't know. And some of these guys, Lance Lynn, he didn't look too good really, and some of these other guys, Kershaw, 6-4.
The thing you get into is that every team has to have a representative, because the Pirates, as we talked in the past, they had to have one even if they didn't really think anyone was worthy. So sometimes you get spots filled up because you had to have a Cub or you had to have a whoever, and that eats up some of the spots. But let's talk about this a little bit. I still like the fan voting. The fans vote. It's a popularity contest. Yeah, fine. Let them see who they want to see start. And go with that. And then filling out the rest slumps, where I usually have a problem with the managers sometimes. But now they even vote for the next day. I think there's 16. There's not that many spots for the manager to fill as there used to be in the past. Antonio La Russa, who is retired, is coming back to manage this game. So there's some controversy. There's some other guys that didn't get named. They have this one poll, 5 guys that they pick, and you can vote for, right?
Yeah,
James McDonald, AJ Burnett weren't even on that list.
Well, I do believe that is just for pitchers, pitchers
just position play? You might be right. But here's the other thing I wanted to say. Zach Greinke and Cueto, Johnny Cueto for the Reds. Those 2 guys come up before they even mention McDonald, because the Pirates just don't have that respect yet. Yeah. Neither of those guys got named to the team by La Russa. And they were talking about them. So there's a chance that there's always someone gets hurt. Somebody might not be able to make it. Somebody's going to pitch right on. It won't be able to pitch in the All-Star game, so they'll take him off. And he might take another guy, and he still might not get to J-Mac.
I would say that the way to cure that, Rob, is to – I think this is good, by the way, just to add, this is good for the later part of the season, because they're going to – I like that, no respect factor. Mm-hmm. But, you got to win to be – and as much as – the Pirates have done well in this first half, they still are considered losers. Yeah. I mean, we cannot say that they're a great team. I mean, yeah, they're scrappy, they're hanging in there, but last year I don't know what they lost, but it was terrible.
Yeah, that's what everyone's looking at. Until they get past that point where they're still winning in August and in September, everyone's going to say like, well, yeah, the Pirates are there and they're playing well. They did that last year and they had this monumental collapse. So that's what could happen again. The other guy we should mention too is Jason Grilli. When you talk about setup men, in recent years they've liked to have taken a couple setup men. He's the best in baseball, according to statistically, I think. I mean, his strikeout numbers are tremendous.
And that setup role, just looking at this, all these guys are either closers or starters. So I don't know if that played any factor into it, but I understand what you're saying. And I just wanted to, we were talking about teams having to have a representative. San Diego, Houston Street, I believe he's their closer. He had to be on the team because they needed an all-star. And Arizona, Wade Miley, I know they have a guy in the final fan voting. I don't think they have anybody else. So I guess what used to happen to the Pirates is kind of like hurting them now. You know how they used to take a guy that was great off a team because the Pirates had a representative. So I guess it's all like, coming out. But I don't know, Rob, what you think about it. But I think McDonald definitely deserves to be there, and Burnett as well.
Yep. Well, we'll have to see if they might get named on. We'll check next week and see what the final outcome was of all this. But anyhow, happy 4th of July, everybody. We'll talk to you next week on Bucco Banter.